In Lesson 13, you will be able to describe a sequence of transformations and draw the figure's image after that transformation. You also are reminded that rigid transformations result in congruent figures. Now, this learning target looks a lot like an earlier lesson. Today we're going to look at some transformations that we've looked at before, but we're going to add in rotation. In fact, the name of Lesson 13 is Incorporating Rotations. Now, to me it's a little odd because this lesson we're going to look at some rotations, but a little look ahead in Lesson 14 it actually is titled Defining Rotations. So it's weird to me that we're going to incorporate rotations in this lesson, but we're going to go with it. So the first part of Lesson 13 shows two stick figures. Now if you read it, it says the semaphore alphabet is a way to use flags to signal messages. Now to me, I thought, semaphore, I've never even heard of that word. So I googled it. And here's what I came up with. Now I didn't even know that's how you pronounced it, so
Semaphore.
I click on the little button that says semaphore. So it's like those flagger people that can use their flags to communicate, and there's a whole alphabet in this. We learn something new every day. I had never heard of that. Anyway, so this problem is showing you two different letters. The letter Z for this stick figure and the letter J for this stick figure. Oops, now I can't get that to go away. There it is. And the question is, for each, precisely describe a rotation that would take the left-hand flag to the right-hand flag. Left-hand flag to the right-hand flag. So how would I get this left-hand flag down to the right-hand flag? Well, you would just take your arm and rotate it down to this other flag. Now, how far would that be? If you've done any work with angles before, you can see that this angle is about 45 degrees. Same with this stick figure for the letter J. How would you get the left-hand flag up to the right-hand flag? Now let me go back. The left-hand flag here gets rotated down, but we'd also say that it's rotating in a clockwise direction. As opposed to the letter J, to get the left-hand flag up to the right-hand flag, it would be counterclockwise, and that's about a 90-degree angle. All that is just to say we're going to look at rotations. So, in this second part of the activity, there are some directions below, and it keeps getting cut off. I'm not sure why that's happening, but the first two are going to reference this figure. The second two are going to reference this figure. So, this is an opportunity for you to learn how to use the rotation tool in the GeoGebra set. So the first direction says rotate ABCD 90 degrees clockwise around Q. So to rotate a figure, you have to have a center of rotation. That's what around Q means. You have to have a direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, and then you have to have an angle. So all of the transformation tools are found in this button. This button kind of looks like a reflection, blue to red. You click on it, and then it gives you some options. This is reflection. This one we looked at in the last lesson. This is translation. This right here is the rotation button, and as you hover over it down below, you can see it says rotate around a point. So I'm going to click on it, and it says select an object, a center point, and then an angle. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to click a center, which the first question says around Q, so I click Q, and then it's going to give me an opportunity to put an angle in there and choose whether I want to go counterclockwise or clockwise. And if you look down here, it says rotate 90 degrees clockwise. So I'm going to go clockwise. I'm going to highlight this and put in 90 degrees, and then hit OK. And this has taken figure ABCD and rotated it around Q 90 degrees clockwise to ABCD or A prime, B prime, D prime, C prime. Okay, the second one says rotate ABCD 180 degrees around R. So the reason it doesn't give a clockwise or a counterclockwise because 180 degrees, either direction, it's the same. So again, I'm going to use the tool. Click on that, select the rotate tool, first select the object, ABCD. Let's try that again. Select the object, select the point, R, and then put in 180 degrees. And this shape gets rotated 180 degrees about point R. Now notice that it has B'1, A'1, and so on. That's to differentiate between the other shape that's already been given, A', B', C', D'. Alright, let's move down here. Notice the different type of graph paper. This one says rotate H, J, K, L, M, N 120 degrees clockwise around O. So I'm going to do this first one, and then I'll leave the last one up to you to do by yourself, but you should do all of them when you do the activity. So rotate. To rotate, I'm going to go into the translation tools, select the rotate. I want 120 degrees clockwise about O. Click on the shape. Click on the center of rotation. It's going to go clockwise. It's going to be 120 degrees. And then I hit OK. Now, it's rotated 120 degrees, but now it's off of the screen. So you can use the arrow or this tool to drag it over so you can see it. So you just click and hold and drag it. Alright, the last part of this asks you to do a series of transformations and figure out the final angle. So I'll read it to you, I'll show it to you, and then I'll be done. But remember, you always want to look down at the summary because it really summarizes what you should have been learning. And again, if you want to look at that before you get started, that's also very helpful. And then the last thing you should do is review the glossary terms. So this last activity says, Mai suspects triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DEF. She thinks these steps will work to show there is a rigid transformation from ABC to DEF. Now it's not going to be one, it's going to be several. So first thing that she does is translate by the directed line segment V. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to go up here, select the transformation tool, select the translate by vector, click on the triangle, notice it's highlighted, click on the vector. So I've moved it. I've translated it from here up to here. Okay, then the next thing she wants to do is rotate it, and once it's rotated, reflect it over DE. So she wants to rotate this down this way and then flip it over onto itself. You have to figure out what's this angle and what do I rotate it around. So it looks like it gets rotated around this point. It's more than 90 degrees. I'm going to guess 120 degrees. So I'm going to go up to the transformation tools. I'm going to select the rotate. I'm going to click on the shape. Click on the point. I want to go clockwise. Let's just try 100 degrees. And hit OK. Not far enough. So I'm going to undo that with this back arrow here. Try it again. Rotate. Rotate tool. Click on it. Click on the point. Let's say clockwise 120 degrees. And there it is. And then the final step would be to flip this over or reflect it across line DE. So I click on this, click on the reflect, click on this line right here, and there it is. It is congruent. So I translated this shape up, I rotated it around, and then I flipped it over, and the angle that I chose to rotate it was 120 degrees. Okay, I'm going to stop right there. Remember to go through the summary and the glossary entries and make sure you're doing all these activities on your own and practicing using these tools so that you're ready if you have a quiz sometime. Good luck.